Welcome back, everybody. Well, I'll give you a Millie update. You're supposed to be chilling. Yeah, look at your leg. This elbow came out. This elbow here come out sideways. We gotta keep her locked in the porch for a couple weeks. Keep her chill. Today, got some snow. We're gonna check some cows. We're gonna paint those garage doors to try to start working on that for the building. That's what's happening on Ranching Sodak. So the other day I turned the boiler on. I got the garage heated up to about 60 degrees in here. So I've had the panels in here a few days. This door is the one that's gonna go in the back of the barn, the west side of the barn. And I got a couple cans of spray paint. We're gonna set up in here and hose that down. But first we gotta go check some cows. Look at this good stuff. I've been feeding that group of cows out there with the wagon, giving them a load of silage along with some bales because they don't have much grazing. The other two groups of cows, I'm still making them go graze, so we'll just give them one bale of hay kind of by the water tank and the feeders, check them out. Like I say, I got the boiler turned on. We got to check this now daily. It's not a big deal, but check the oil level, make sure there's no catastrophes going on. I got a gauge here on this tank. It shows here's where our oil level is. So, but I'm getting a lot of noise out of this pump. Hear that? I have two pumps that push the water all the way to the house. I think they're not set up right. One's different than the other. The one that they put on originally 15 years ago when I put the boiler in, I think is the wrong pump. It doesn't have the head. So I did buy one off of eBay here last year, but we're gonna have to try to put this on. I think these two pumps would be more in sync to work. I don't know. I learned by trial and error. We got Sassy Pants out of the house. She likes snow. Look at her smiling. Cold. Let's check this water while we're this close. I assume it's working. These little guys look happy. Oh yeah. She's a bubbling away. Look at can you see that? It's not really steam. What would that be? Change of temperature, she says. Anyways, those waters work good. For you new people here, this is a motion sensor right here. And that's powered up and goes down into this hole, runs a sump pump, brings water up to the surface. Once we walk away, all this water goes back down 6 feet below the surface. So no heat, nothing happens if nobody's there. So, all right, let's go roll out some hay, check some cows. Once I get the garage door painted, then I can get this thing in the heated garage. Garage. How do you say garage?
Garage.
No, that's incorrect. Time to shine, girl. This is why I got you. This is why I got you out of the house.
What?
Gate opener 9,000. These cows here are in the actual pen where we're going to wean the calves. So it's not very big what I have them in. They can get out in the rest of this big pasture, but there's nothing out there for them to eat. So kind of on about 10 acres. So I take the first bale out to the farthest end of this 10 acres, which is in the long ways, but it gives me a chance to make sure everybody gets up, everybody follows me. I get to look at everybody, and then we'll feed silage in the bunk line, which is training these calves that's where the food's gonna be. And then when we put the other groups of calves in here, those calves are gonna these calves will teach the new calves a little bit quicker. Then I do have it fenced yet, so there's probably another 10 acres there that I haven't let them graze. So once we wean the calves, we'll take this down so the calves will actually have some grazing and more place to go lay down and run around and do what calves do. I should teach Sassy Pants how to cut twines, then I wouldn't have to get out at all. Be like,
I know how.
Oh, she thinks she doesn't know how, so all right.
Well, I do know, so you go ahead and do it. I've already learned.
Oh. First off, look at this. These little frickers, this cold weather doesn't affect these gophers. This was just dug last night. It's 9 degrees out, so the ground's really not frozen, but these flippin' pocket gophers will dig all winter long if the ground doesn't freeze hard. So you look under snowbanks in the spring and you'll see pocket gopher runs. The calves are really happy because 3 things. They're getting fed. They got their self feeders with the corn and the creep feed mix, and then they got their mothers. So they're like on cloud 9. A little cooler weather, they like that as long as it's not wet. So the calves are happy. Cows not so much. Cows are kind of like, yeah, I'd like to get rid of my calf. I'd like to be turning me out into some cornfield or something. But the calves are looking really good. Hello? How would you rate your job on a scale of 1 to 5?
5.5.
All right, let's go to the next group. I give everybody 1 bale right away to check all 3 groups. This one's gonna need a couple more bales and then that load of silage. Everything looks good out here so far. Saddle up, partner.
This Millie though out here.
You have to zoom in, you can see them cows are coming from over there, that hill. They got stuff to eat, but they gotta walk about a half a mile back to the water tank, and that's where the feeders are. So I'm just gonna roll this bale up by the feeder since they come here for water every day anyway. Then the calves kind of start sticking around the feeders and they'll stay close to the water. They won't even really go. They just kind of wait for their mom to come back, hang out and nibble on this hay too. Trying to create a little independence for them, you know, so when they wean, it's not a big deal. Because up here, there was already a bunch of calves with not enough mothers. I'm out here gathering bales in this alfalfa field. This is 3rd cutting. I'm gonna start giving that group of cows, I think, a 3rd cutting bale every couple days to get their protein up because there's a ton of dead grass they got to eat. A lot of guys will feed cubes or tubs. Tubs are pretty expensive and I don't think they get enough. I don't think they can get enough protein out of tubs, and if you do, it's awful expensive. So I'm just gonna give them a bale every 3 days of good alfalfa for their protein. So that's where we're at. Gathering them up too, until the snow gets too deep. I always give it a little roll. That gets me down to where there's no snow or ice. This is just sisal twine, so I don't have to pick it up. But if you don't cut it, it has a tendency to wrap on the arms. Okay. There we go. This is like 3rd cutting grass alfalfa. Really fine and tender. You wouldn't want to lead off with this bale because then they wouldn't eat that. What I gave them the first time was really long, rank 1st cutting. And they're all eating it. Until they eat this one, then they'll be over on this one. So now after we gave them that good bale, you can see they all left this stuff. They all moved over there. I just turned them into another 80 that's hasn't been grazed. A lot of dead stuff, and there's some good stuff underneath, but we got 6 inches of snow. But they're happy, still grazing, but I feel like they're maybe just a hair short of protein. That's why I gave them that alfalfa bale. Like I say, I'll probably do that every 3 days, just hit them with 1 good bale, see what the weather does. Nope, everybody looks good over here. On to the next one. Here's a gate that's friendly for both. Booyah! This group here, I just gave them another chunk the other day. They got to walk a ways back to water, and the calves are starting to stay by the feeder. It looks like there's 40 calves by the feeder. What I'm gonna do is put the bale right over there. I don't know if the cows will come, but at least the calves will have water and feed and in a bale so they can hang out. They might come back, I don't know. When I moved them into there, I took them a bale of hay and they just ran over it like they didn't even care, so. Oh, it looks like the ones that can see us are gonna come over this hill. So, this big tire tank, see that? They can still drink. They got a spot right here, but I think it's time to fire up the bubbler. If you were watching a couple videos back, in this bucket right here is in this bucket I left the lid on it and I put an air compressor in here. It's a continuous duty pond aerator off of Amazon for I think like 30 bucks. I just bought a couple more. They're continuous duty, they run all the time, they're electromagnetic, pulsing, runs a little thing, so they're pretty fail-safe. It's coming down a hose. Hose goes right here and it goes down in the bottom, and it won't be long and they'll have that'll stay open now all the time so they can get drinking right here. And then the float, of course, is way protected underneath here, so they'll always have water. A calf won't have to try to fight through ice, but he can come over here. You can see they've been coming over here, and this one should work all the time. This is a motion sensor one. This isn't good for a lot of head until that gets opened up. This gets the first few animals a drink of water, or a single calf or something can come over here and get some water. It won't water a whole group very well. Anyways, that's the bubbler. And I see a bunch of the cows did come up. Over at Jim's here, Jim's son-in-law, Brad, and his boy Guy, they were hunting deer. And that's why I was getting those huts ready the other day. But I think Guy got a really nice buck last night, so I want to see if we can see that. There he is. Where's your buck?
He's in here.
All right, let's take a look at her. Did it go down like you were hoping, or how did it go down?
I saw it.
Oh boy.
I went over there.
Look at this thing. How wide was it? Did you measure?
21.
21 inches wide. Nice, even, nice long tines. These things must be almost 10 or so inches, huh? Yeah, that's the one. That's what we've been looking for right there. Been passing up a lot of littler ones, but yeah, that's a dandy. Hoofda. Back in the first group, giving them one more bale. Putting it up here kind of by the windbreak. I'm gonna put a line right here. So just kind of broadening their windbreak area. Get this all packed down, because in the winter time we'll start bedding against this windbreak here. I'm trying to kind of fill this area in a little bit, level it off to here. The drainage is right over here, so I can't go any farther there. I don't want to plug that drainage, that goes over here. But from here on over, we could build all this up kind of. So get her leveled off and it'll freeze up, and then we'll have a place to bed. But let's get this finished up, and then I think we better go and go give the bulls a bale of hay, check them, and then go down to Wayne's and check those cows. I'm gonna sell them tomorrow. We're gonna load them up, give them a little bit of hay so they follow me, I think. Down to the bulls. I didn't see any tracks out on the road or anything around, so I hope they're all in here. I saw, oh, there's some. Hello. Here's where you gotta hang on to your hats. Look at what they do to my pickup. And then it does look like we got one out yonder way. Heads up, heads up. I gotta see if that one comes back in. I think he crawled over a hot wire over there. I think there's supposed to be like 16 of them out here yet. So we'll see. I'd like to see him come back in. We've been having a real rodeo with this bull. I tried to get him to jump back in where he had it knocked down. It didn't work. And I took him all the way to the end, and I thought he was gonna go around into the yard and come in the actual gate. Well, he got shocked at the fence down in the cattails, and then he ran all the way back down here. So now he's standing here. So now we're gonna do what we probably should have done at the beginning, which is go shut the fencer off, lower down the wire, and bring him back to where he got pushed out. And I don't think he crawled out, I think he got pushed out. So I'm kind of being a little too hard on him for probably the wrong reasons. So here we are. We're still fiddling around. I put that hay right over the wire. We lowered the wires down, and I put a little clump of hay there, but I probably put too much hay. Now he's just standing on the fence eating the hay. But that's where I want to reward him, so I think he's gonna go for it here. Yep, there he's gonna crawl through. There he's in. That is what I should have done at the very beginning. I've spent about 45 minutes chasing him back and forth. And I was training him the whole time. I never did anything negative to him. I mean, he was easy to herd now, but we probably wouldn't have had to manipulate and do all the training like we did there, because we could have done an easy little move like this. Anyway, he's back in. See if he gets his butt kicked again. All right, we made her down here to the cornfield. These cows we're gonna sell actually in a couple days. These are older cows, too big of cows for me, some of them. Questionable bags for Kevin on the pasture. So they all were in one group together this summer. But I'm just gonna give them a little bit of hay today up here. So tomorrow, maybe come to the pickup again. Lots of stuff out here. So and then of course we'll take the calves home and wean them. There's only 24 here. So we'll bring the trailer and we'll take them home, and the bull, bring him out of here. Should be good to go. So we'll just give them a little tiny bit of hay. They look really nice and shiny. They've had a pretty good run out here though, because well, it's like 80 acres of corn and then an old alfalfa field, a couple of old hay fields that we hayed and the regrowth come back. So they've had plenty of feed. Each one has something that I don't like about them, so they're going to town. Definitely get a few more calves out of a couple of those though, for sure. All right, well, we're back over here to Jim's. Dropped her off. She's gonna make a little dinner, and let's fill up this load of silage for those cows at home. Got Jinxie in here. Got her plugged in last night, and the tractor is plugged in, so on a timer, but it should be on right now. I gotta do a little investigating, see what this timer. According to this, it should be on unless I got it completely backwards. Standby to standby. So that's working. So either my timer is no good or I don't know how to set it. The time is right. I'm gonna just click it to there and see if it turns or runs. Okay. I think I had it absolutely backwards. I think it came on the wrong time of the day and shut off when it was supposed to be on. This one has an indicator light, which tells me that it's on. And I put this little wire here, hold my cord so there's no pressure on the ends. Usually that's where they go bad, is hanging there, and then that end will start to wear out, or the end hooks to the cord starts to get worn or bent over all the time. Kind of congested in here, Matt. Yeah, I don't think I like how this bad boy's sitting. We're gonna have to change that around. All right, fire this up, and then we better get the door open so we don't become a statistic. Gonna try a barley bale. Now this was that hay barley. I'm gonna probably grind this with some hay, but I'm gonna open one of these up and well, I'll say one thing. It does it's a little harder to grind up or to cut up without grinding it, but it is gonna get mixed. It'll go a lot faster when you get a tub grinder, and then I think I'm gonna grind barley, one grass, one CRP, and get a mix that way. Once we get our ground up stuff this winter, like I say, barley and some CRP hay and some grass hay or regular hay, then we'll probably pull a test to see what our protein is. The easiest for us to get our protein up is just a little distillers. So whether it's a little modified, maybe 1 or 2 pounds of modified per head per day, that'll get our protein where we need it. So battery's going dead, I gotta go dump her out. So it's only been like 4 days with the wagon, and the calves are already coming to the bunk up here, and they got their cell feeders, pellets and feed in there too. But this is exactly what I wanted to see, is these calves coming with the cows for a week or so, eating out of the bunk line, coming up here, seeing the tractor. Makes the weaning so much easier. When we go to wean them, we'll wean them up in the yard and the calves will just walk right back out here. Everything's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the feed line, the bunks, and all this stuff will be here. So, and then I drive through them every day with the pickup, rolling out 1 bale usually. And then we will put bale feeders out once it was just the calves. But yeah, they're all eating right there, hitting the feed. Are all calves, so that's good. It's good to see. Everybody looks happy. One calf. There's one calf up there. I noticed it yesterday and then this morning. It's got a little tender on his right knee joint. So I got to keep an eye on him. If it gets any worse, I'll probably dart him out here. If not, we'll probably just pull him off when we work him. But we'll keep an eye on him. He is getting up and getting around, but he does just stay back. He's a little tender. Alrighty, we got to go eat some dinner and then paint those doors. Let's get this thing plugged in. Put the timer the right way tonight. Oh, get back here. There we go. I set this on here like that. Oh, how about like that? Set it right on there. Takes the pressure off your cord. Good night, Jinxie. Pretty nice little nest you guys got here, huh? Okay, dokie. Well, let's, we gotta set up something here so we can, maybe I could just set each one on top of these and paint it and then go back in the house and just let it dry, right? We'll see here. I'll get a plan. Two's probably all I can spray before I pass out. I'm gonna need another can of paint too, I noticed. Anyways, back to the house. So I wanted to tell you guys about the merch. We got some different sizes of gloves. So if you requested like an extra large, I think Sassy Pants got like 10 pairs of extra large and 10 medium. So if that interests you, go to ranchingsodak.com, check out our merch stuff, and leave a little note. We'll get you the right size gloves. Well, while that paint's drying, the fumes are dying down anyway. We got to take the skid steer and gravel pile. I got 3 truckloads of gravel in the yard here that we need to move into the corral. I'm afraid it's going to start to freeze and get to where it's going to be just a huge mess. I'm going to try that, hauling a few scoops in there, see what happens. But yeah, I dumped it here, kind of right in the wrong spot if you don't get it moved. I'm gonna keep hauling. You guys can watch these calves. I'll let you watch these calves until you're sick of it. Tennessee's cold. It's gonna be cold all week. Production on any outside projects with our gloves off is going downhill. So stay tuned. Loading those cows out tomorrow, and then I'll take you to the sale. The next, probably the same video. So stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't. Go to the merch store, ranchingsodak.com. Buy some stuff from me so I can keep the heat on. Just buy it if you want it. I don't care. It's pretty good stuff. Sassy Pants packs it with love, so just remember that. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.